I'm going to demonstrate how to produce this lovely face using pastel pencils. And I start off by using the white. Now, we want a fairly substantial coating of white over the whole face. I'll just do the top to start with to show you how we apply it. Use the round circular action. You'll see that there's a tooth in this paper. Well, that will gradually disappear as we bring the colour in and we blend it into the paper. But you need to make sure that you get a nice coverage. Now that's just about right. You can just see the pastel. And what I'm going to do here is to use the colour shaper very lightly. You could also use your finger. If you haven't got one of these, just use your finger. Same thing. But the colour shaper is just a little bit more direct. You can position it. Now I don't want it any more than that. You can just see an influence of the same coloured paper through. Now I'm going to go over the whole of the area, except I won't be doing the eyes and I won't be doing the lips, but everywhere else will have that coating. Now the important thing here, let me just do just this other little section here, is that we don't lose the image underneath. And let's go around that eye. You'll see what I mean then. And this is why I say, if you've got a colour shaper or a paper blender or any blender, you've got a little bit more control over it. See? Now I can just go around that eye and just leave the eye itself alone for the time being. But as I said, it's important that you can see the reference area underneath it. That'll be made a bit more obvious as we go on. So I'm going to do all of that with the white pencil. And once I've done, then we'll be putting our second colour on. Time to apply the next colour. Now this is a very fierce colour, so you don't want too much on. But what I want to do here is to try to apply a light coat over the whole of the face. Just as I did with the white. Now I'm being very careful with this, as you can see. I'll just do the top half of the face and you get an idea of how that's going to work. And what we'll do then is, once again, we use a colour shaper or your paper blender and we rub that into it as well. And that's the effect we get. Got it? Now I would do this in two halves, as I'm showing you now, because there's something else I want to do before we move on from there. What I'm going to do is going to bring the white back. Now you will have the reference picture you'll be looking at anyway, if you're following me. But what we want to do is to bring back some of the light colour using the white, because we can start, even at this early stage, creating the features. And here, put a little bit of white there. I'll just go around the eye here, just a little bit there, and on the top of the eye, like that. Now, what's the idea of that, Cole? Well, you can see that what we're doing is almost sculpturing the face. Now, I'm going to carry on doing that all the way through, and I'll show you all of it, but it'll be in little bits and pieces. But you can already begin to see how, by using the white the way I am, we're pinpointing the highlights of the face. So let me carry on, and I'll show you. Let me just, before I move on without narration, I'll just show you the nose, because this is quite interesting. Once again, we can put the nose in using the colour, come round to the chin, like that. Use the colour shaper. Now, portrait work is really hard, but if you do it the way I'm showing you, it's a lot easier. Now there's the nose, and now we want to make sure the nose comes forward. So what we do down the edge, this is why it's important to have the reference lines showing. Come down with the nose, and right on the tip of the nose, a little bit more white there, and just there too. Round underneath the eye, and then what you're doing is leaving a trace of pink here and here. Then over here, what we do is we, again, under the eye, and on that cheek. Again, leaving a bit of strength there. Now you can begin to see the face emerge. Now, as I bring more colours into play, we'll be doing exactly the same thing as I've just done there every time, so that we keep in touch with the picture and we start creating a three-dimensional face. Anyway, let me finish this off. Well, I'm just going over with the pink now, just putting back just a little bit of extra strength, because the next colour I'm going to be using will be an ochre, a reddish ochre. You see the difference that's made? Let's just put a little bit on the eyebrow, and just a little spot more there, and under the chin, which makes the chin stand away. Lovely. That's all I think we need to do now. Next colour I'm going to be using is this one. Now this one is 187 in the Faber range, and it's a reddish ochre, and this really will change the colour. So what we do now, we've already got a really good idea of where the shading is needed. So with this one, we leave the white areas alone, and we go over using this 187 to create some shading. Again, a very, very light touch. Keep everything you do light, because you can always go over it again. Now this is where you can also pick up a little bit of detail, like that. Just go around the eye, the eyebrow, and on top of that pink on the end of the nose. It won't be a line in the end. You'll see as I progress through this demonstration, you'll see it changing, because we'll be blending it as we go. I want to come down to the nose, like that. Okay, now I will show you just a little more, then I'll move off and do the rest of it. Then you'll see the effect. Now, one other area which is rather important is this area here, which is right on the edge of the nose, and this is what gives the nose the dimension. So I'll just do this area, and again you can use your colour shaper and blend that. Now you see it's beginning to change colour now. In fact, you'll have a halfway point now. You'll be able to look at the area below and see how this is shaping up, literally. Now, I did say that once you do that, you can also bring back the white again, which is what we do. So we bring back the white again here and re-establish those light areas. If you don't do this, you might find that you'll have too much strength on the other tones, and you won't be able to achieve this effect. Come down the edge of this, a little white on the tip of the nose is always a nice idea, and then around here into there, and also putting a little bit in there, cuts round that area. You see how it's beginning to work now, and we've still got some more colours to go in. Yeah, And of course, we've got the features such as the eye. Using the side of the point of the pencil is a good idea. You'll see how the tooth of the paper is disappearing as I do this. Another area there, you can use the point of the pencil just to dig in a little more with the white. So you create that. And this is great fun. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this if you have a go at it. But you see the features already appearing. Anyway, I'm going to continue with that, finish that off, and then what we'll do then is bring another colour in, which will be this one, which is an ochre, and this will add a little bit of yellow to the face, okay, and it'll take some of the salmon effect away. Now, the other colour, as I mentioned, which is yellow ochre. And again, now we've already got the face worked out. We know where the highlights are. So we can now, again, carefully place this colour on top of the pinks and the reddy ochre. We've got 187. And again, I'll do half of this so you can see the difference between one and the other. We're going in with some quite strong colours here later on, but you don't want to come in too fast, because otherwise you'll lose the general idea. Now you see how that is changing. Once again, colour shaper, and now we've got a really attractive tone. And before we leave it, jolly old white again. And you can use the white pencil now. This is almost the end of the skin sequence. So what we can, oh, I can't do that, I haven't finished that bit yet. Just here. And you'll, in a moment or two, you're going to be astounded at when I bring in the strong colours in a minute and we finish the eyes off. The difference is amazing. A little bit of white there, doesn't quite meet up with that, but you make sure it's nice and light through there. Through here, again it's light. Side of the point of the pencil, remember, otherwise it becomes too strong. And then back in here, this is another area where we have to make sure it's quite light, so we emphasise the depth there. Now I can't come any further down because I haven't completed it, but I can do the nose again. Once again, the white all the way up that side of the nose, and then back here. Like that. So let me finish this off, and then we're going to put the eyes in, the lips in, and more detail. The only thing I haven't done is down here. Let me just do this bit, because that, what you can do there is you can use the white pencil now instead of the colour shaper. See, what's important is we get that chin standing away against the neck. We'll be doing the arms and the hair and the dress. That won't be this time. This demonstration is purely and simply to show you how to produce facial features. I think I'm probably done there now. Okay, I'll just do just a little bit more, and then we'll come in with some depth on the lips, eyes, mouth. Now for the eyes. White in the lightest section of the eye. Just a trace of light just there too. Just a pinpoint. So do both eyes together. And then in the pupil, want a little bit of white there. Again, you need sharp pencils for this. And then I'm going to use the 187 just to put a little bit of colour in them. Now we're restricted in colours here, so we can't put too many strong colours in. But I'm going to put one colour now, which I haven't used yet. This is the dark brown. Now here we've got to be very, very careful because it's a very dark colour, so we just very, very lightly touch the pupil in, touch the edge, and then just put just a little bit of strength there, like that. Do the other side, little pupil. You don't have to be, and the other thing you can do is just put a little spot of this to strengthen the eye a little more. Now, just a little spot. Now, your picture that you've got, your line drawing will be bigger than this, so you'll have a little bit more chance. But that looks really good. So instead of drawing it, see, you're just really just touching it. That looks really nice. Now, having done that, you can now bring back just a little bit of colour to enhance the eye. And this is with the 187. Just a little bit more depth there. And the other thing we're going to do is the eyebrow. Now I've already put the eyebrow in using the pink and the 187, but this is a 187. And then the dark brown very lightly. Again, don't draw it in, just spot it in. It looks absolutely stunning. And that is all you need to do. The other side. There you go. Done. I'm just going to draw in just the top of the eye. Let's give it just a little bit more. There we are. Now that's really pretty, isn't it? Let's move down a little now, then to the nose. Exactly the same idea. Just put spot there in now. Now this is the bit that's going to be tricky. We'll put a little bit of nostril in. Now the reason that works so well is because we put the other colour underneath it. Okay? And we can always just pick back just a little bit of white there. If you feel you need to. That's fine. Now isn't that pretty? It may even pay us just a little spot of this colour. You've got to be careful with it because it is a hard, strong colour, but a little bit of colour there. Just put a little bit of weight under the eye, under the nose. And another area we could put just a little spot of dark is there. Don't think we need it here, do we? I'm tempted, but I've got to be careful because if you put too much strength in, but that does enhance the face. That looks great, doesn't it? Now, what about the lips? So let's get the lips done. White pencil, first of all, and that puts the light in. There's a little bit on the top, but not much. More on the bottom than on the top. Then with the pink, now this is a forerunner of the very dark colour we haven't used yet, but we're going to use it a lot in other sections of this picture. And that is this one. And this is a 194 in the Faber range. And this is really strong, but it looks fantastic. And then, using the white pencil, you could use this really almost like a blender, just to put a little bit of colour, a little bit of tone in. See, the blender I was showing you would have been too wide. Look, see what I mean? You can't use it for that. So The next best thing is the white pencil, which works really well. Just a little spot. What I'll do is I'll use that brown. It's a little spot of depth there, which is really nice. In fact, you could put a bit there as well. Now, isn't that pretty? I hope you've enjoyed it. The great thing about this is, with a restricted pencil range, it's not hard because you've got a limited amount of pencils to use. But as you can see, that really does not look good. And then you can come back, once you've done all that, you can come back in and titivate, make it little. But I certainly don't want to spoil it now. So I'm going to call that a day. And as I said, there's going to be more demonstrations, and the next demonstration in sequence will be the hair, and we'll be doing the arms and the dress. So look out for more demos to come. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.